Hi, welcome to Mad Scientist Barbecue. I'm Jeremy Yoder, and today I'm going to show you one of my favorite pork rubs, and I'll take you along for the cook as we cook for about 50 people. Okay, today I'm going to be cooking for about 50 people, and so I need to make, I think, about 6 pork butts. That's going to give me about 45 pounds of meat, and I think that'll be just about right. For the rub that we're going to use today, I got this cookbook, this book just on barbecuing in general, called Meathead, and it's from the makers of AmazingRibs.com. I highly recommend this book. Some of the things that I do, I learned from AmazingRibs.com. Some of the things that I do, I learned, and then I found that AmazingRibs.com confirmed it. And so this rub I found through their website, and then it's also in this book. All the recipes on their website that I found are also in the book, so I highly, highly recommend this book. What we're going to be using today is Meathead's Memphis Dust pork rub. And so we'll show you exactly how it's made, and we're going to put it on some pork butts and hopefully make some stellar pulled pork. By the way, it's about 4 a.m. right now. I'm going to get these pork butts on early. I've had, about 0 hours of sleep. I've been up all night making coleslaw and getting things ready for this group of people. So hopefully I'll make it through the cook, make it through the day. Got to get it started early because you don't want people waiting around, looking at their watches, waiting for the food to be done. What you want is to be done early, if anything, and on time at the latest. Okay, so the ingredients are brown sugar, white sugar, American paprika, granulated garlic, coarse ground black pepper, ground ginger, granulated onion, and ground rosemary. One thing you'll notice that's missing from this rub recipe is salt, because I want to have complete control over the salt. Whenever I make a rub, I want the salt separate so I can put as much or as little of the rub on as I want, and the salt is unaffected. So what I do with these pork butts is I salt them first, and then it starts to draw out some water, and then instead of using some kind of binder like yellow mustard or olive oil or something like that, what I actually use is the water that's drawn out of the meat, and I sprinkle the rub on, and I get plenty of rub on the meat, and it sticks well, and it cooks really well, and I have no issue with any of that. I want complete control over the salt, so I keep it separate. So our first ingredient is 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. The brown sugar we're adding because it has good sweet flavor that blends well with pork. Brown sugar, done. Next, we're going to do 3/4 of a cup of regular old white sugar. The brown sugar is for the flavor, the white sugar is for bark formation. 3/4 of a cup. In. Our next ingredient is 1/2 cup of American paprika. Some paprikas have a lot of flavor. Like if you get Hungarian paprika, it has a significant flavor, or Spanish paprika, but regular old American paprika doesn't really taste like much. So its only real purpose in this rub isn't for flavor, but rather for color. So we want a nice reddish color on our pulled pork because it makes it look more attractive, and if it looks more attractive, people are more inclined to eat it. So for that reason, I think we're going to add 1/2 cup of American paprika. One-half cup in with a little bit of spilling. Next ingredient we're going to use is 1/4 cup of garlic powder. And so instead of garlic powder, I always use granulated garlic and granulated onion. I've heard that it doesn't cake on as much. I've never done any real checking to see if that's true, but it's easy enough to get both of those, so I'm going to go ahead and use granulated garlic. 1/4 cup. Into the bowl. With no spillage this time. Alright, our next ingredient is coarse ground black pepper, and this is in a bag because I scavenged the shaker bottle that it came from to use for another rub that I made. So I'm going to be pulling it out of the Ziploc bag. 2 tablespoons, so not very much, especially when compared to a brisket rub that contains lots of black pepper. So 2 tablespoons into the mix. Next, we've got 2 tablespoons of ginger, ground ginger. So this is something you might not have, but something that I've used this rub before, and I think that this is one of the things that makes it really special, makes it really good. And so if you don't have some, go get some. It's worth it. And 2. Now I've got 2 tablespoons of granulated onion. then the final and one of the unique ingredients, and I had to look around a lot to find this, but ground rosemary. What I used to do when I used to make this rub is I used to take just rosemary, dried rosemary that you get in the store, and put it in a coffee grinder and grind it up into a powder. But luckily I found the rosemary powder, so that makes my life a lot easier. So we're going to use 2 teaspoons of ground rosemary. Okay, we're going to take a spoon, mix all this up, and put it into a shaker bottle. Alright, so I'm going to take this and put it into the container that used to hold my Meathead's Memphis dust. And I'm going to spoon it in there, shake it up, and we'll be ready to use it. Alright, got it in the new container. I'm going to give it a shake, mix it all together, make sure it's really well mixed, and it's ready to use on our pork butts. Okay, so we got a pork butt here. I'm going to show you exactly how I'm going to do all these. I've already done the first 5. This is the very last one. They've all been done the exact same way. So I'm going to open up the package. What I'm going to do is trim off this top layer of fat right here on the top of the pork butt, because this pork butt already has plenty of fat on the inside, intramuscular fat and connective tissue, to make it be plenty moist during the cook. And so I want as much edible bark as possible. So to get the maximum amount of bark, I'm going to trim off the fat and put the rub on the top, so you get all that bark on the top that you can eat, that you're really going to enjoy. Alright, it's time to season this up. First I'm going to use some kosher salt, and then I'm going to go and cover that with our pork rub that we just made. You can go fairly liberal with the salt, but don't go too crazy. You don't want over salted meat here. We're going to be very generous with the rub here. Any extra will fall off, but we want to get plenty on there. This is a big chunk of meat and it needs lots of flavor. Now, after seasoning this pork butt, it's time to put it on the smoker. Alright, we've got the pork butts on the smoker here. As you can see, it's completely filled up. And so, we've got a long day of cooking ahead of us. So hopefully we get this done before 12, 13, 14 hours. Alright, these pork butts have been on the smoker now for about 6 hours, and I'll show you what I've been doing. About every hour, I get out the spray bottle and just spray them liberally with half apple cider vinegar, half water. Just mix it half and half. Keep it moist, don't want it to burn up, don't want it to get too crusty. Don't want this to break either, but it did. Okay, well, go figure. Fixed, we're good. Rock and roll, God bless America. Today I'm keeping my cooking temperatures between 225 and 250 because I don't want these pork butts to burn up, the ones that are really close to the firebox here, and so what I've been doing is rotating them. So these two move to the middle and then to the end and then back to where they started, and just rotating them so none of them get too burnt or anything like that. So I wanted to cook as evenly as possible. Now they've been cooking for 6 hours. Right now they're in the stall, and so I'm going to wrap them I think in the next 30 minutes or so and let them finish off hopefully in the next couple hours. I reckon it's about time to wrap. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take this pork butt, put it on this aluminum foil, but first we're gonna take some of this Memphis dust and sprinkle it in the bottom. Get you a good look at that right there. I want to get as much of this rub flavor in there as I can. So, got that done there. Next, get me a towel. Grab this guy, stick it on. Alright, next step, some vinegar spray. Spray it on there. Make sure you use 2 layers of foil. So if one of them tears, you still got a watertight seal. All that water's going to stay in there. Spray it down with some cider vinegar. One more time with this Memphis dust. Lots of flavor. Now, time to put these guys to bed. Wrap them up. And this guy is ready to rock and roll. One of the many great benefits of standing outside, managing your fire, standing by your pit all day, is that you get great farmer's tans. Wear a tank top, folks. All right, pulled our pork butts off when they reach 203. We're gonna let them rest in this cooler. You can see they're all sitting in there. I meant to bring some towels to put in the bottom, but I didn't, but it'll work anyway, doesn't matter. So we're gonna let those rest in there for about an hour, maybe a little bit more, and we're gonna shred them apart and make some pulled pork sandwiches. All right, we've let these pork butts rest for about an hour now, and so I'm gonna take them, put them in this tray, take them out of the foil, and shred them up.
Yeah.
I know I didn't do anything.
I'm gonna do some of this. You said it's spicy.
I'm gonna try it.
No, Lauren likes
I
spicy.
think I
She'll
can
be
handle
fine.
the spice. Oh, that's so good. Are you kidding me? That's so good.
A lot of sandwich in a little bit. I like it.
Okay, ready? Oh, good.
Thank you for watching Mad Scientist Barbecue. Please like the video if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos. And as always, keep experimenting. You gotta...
Keep it spicy.
Okay? Say it again.